Good morning, children. Sai Ram. I welcome you all to the online class of economics. Children, today I'm again going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter number 3rd, and the name of our chapter is Census in the Sample Method of Collection of Data. Children, this is the second video of this chapter, and in the previous video we have understood the census method of collection of data. Thereafter we have learned the sampling method and the various types of sampling method. We have already finished up in the last video, like what is the probability samples, in where we have learned the systematic sampling, cluster sampling, simple random sampling, and the stratified sampling. So this we have already learned in the first part of this chapter. Now in today's video we are going to learn the second kind of collection of data, that is the qualitative researchers. In this one we are going to learn the non-random sampling, or you can say the non-probability sampling. So children, let us start with the first topic, that is the non-probability samples, or in short we can call it non-random sampling. So children, under non-probability or non-random sampling, so under the non-random sampling method, the selection of a sample depends on the judgment of the investigator rather than on chance. So this method basically does not provide every item in the universe with a known chance of being included in the sample. So non-random sampling method is not scientific. So various laws of statistics cannot be used to analyze it. So the main method of non-random or the non-probability samplings are: the first one is your convenience sampling, second is the judgment sampling, third is the quota sampling, and the fourth one is the snowball sampling. So children, let us start with the first one, that is convenience sampling. Now, what is convenience sampling? So, children, in convenience sampling, under this method, sampling is done by the investigator in such a manner that suits his convenience. So, basically we can say that under this method, while selecting the sample units, the investigator gives special attention to his convenience. For example, if we want to estimate the average height of an Indian, then the investigator, which is belonging to any particular state, let's say is from Delhi, can take a convenience sample from the Delhi state only and estimate the average height of an Indian. So this method of selecting the sample is also called as Gunk. So, for one more example, we can see that if any investigator may select a sample of the teachers merely by referring to the college prospectus, then this method is simplest and the least expensive, but unscientific and unreliable. So, it depends too much on the whim of enumerators. So, convenience sampling attempts to obtain a sample of convenient elements, and respondents are selected because they happen to be in the right place at the right time. So, this is all the convenience sampling. Now, suppose if there are five groups available like A, B, C, D, and E, and we have to select sampling for conducting any investigation. So what a investigator is basically doing, he selected only a one group, and each and all items or all element which follows on that particular group will be selected for making any investigation. So such kind of investigation would be called as the convenience sampling. Children, in this slide you just watch A, B, C, D, and E. These are the five you can say groups in which we have to select the data and conduct an investigation. So what an investigator is doing is only selecting the D group for making an investigation. So such kind of investigation or collecting the data is called as convenience sampling, because the investigator is collecting or selecting the data as per his own convenience. So this is called a convenience sampling. Now, what are the merit and demerits of this convenience sampling? Children, the first merit of this convenience sampling is economical. So, as you all know, it is the less expensive and less time consuming. And the second is easy command. So, the unit of the sample are easily located and contacted by the investigator, and it is often used for making pilot studies in which the questions are pre-tested and preliminary information is obtained before finalizing the same design. So selection of whichever individuals are easiest to reach, we are selecting for our own convenience, and it's basically easy to use. It is also a low cost and extensive used, or it is understood. So we have the demerit of the convenience sampling as well. The first demerit says that it is variability and base cannot be measured or controlled. So the you can see that units of the sample which has been selected under this method are hardly represent the universe, and just because of we are selecting the data for our convenience, therefore the sampling are prone to base by their nature, and the result obtained under this method are found to be unsatisfactory and misleading. So this is all about the convenience sampling. Now next we are moving on to the quota sampling. Now what is the quota sampling? Children, as you all know, the word quota means the reservation or the reserved data. So in this method, children, the population is divided into the different group and classes according to the different characteristics of the population, and some percentage of different groups in total population is fixed. So therefore some quota of the items to be selected are the sample items which is fixed from each group. So the investigator select the fixed number of items from each group to frame a sample. So basically, under the quota sampling method, children, the items of the population are subdivided into, as I just said, into the various groups, and then a quota, which is the number of items to be selected from the each subgroup, is fixed. But within the given quota, the selection of sample units depends upon the personal judgment of the investigator. For example, if we are, you can say, like if we are uh, conducting or a survey of TV viewers, I mean, how many followers the TV viewers are watching a survey, then the interviewers may be told to interview 50 people living in a certain area, and that 55% of the interviewer are to be the housewife, 30% maybe with the school children, and remaining 10% should be the employees, and 5% should be the children. So within this quota, the interviewer is free to select the people to be interviewed. So basically, this quota sampling is a special form of stratified sampling which is very popular in the market survey and in the opinion pools. So since quota sampling has been a combination of stratified sampling and the mixed sampling, therefore it enjoys the merit of both. So children, this quota sampling is not very expensive first of all, but there is a high possibility of the personal base at the time of selection of the items by the investigator. So according the reliability of the results became the questionable. So the first the first stage, which is consist of developing the control categories or the quota or the population elements. So in this is the first stage basically, and in the second stage the sample elements are selected, which is based on the convenience of the judgment. Suppose we'll take one more example. If the total you can say the percentage of male and female population who are living in a particular area is 48% the male candidate, and again 48% are the female candidate. So children, let us see one more example. If we are going to conduct the any statistical investigation by the quota sampling, what basically doing in this slide actually is, there are five groups like A, B, C, D, and D, and out of this five groups, one item or one number from the entire group is being selected. Like you just see in the slide, from a group A only 3 selected, from B 6 is selected, from C 13 selected, from D 20, and from E 22 is been selected. So this kind of investigation or selecting the data is called as quota sampling, because out of the every element from the five groups, only one number, the special number, is been selected for conducting the investigation. So this is called a quota sampling. Now we have a merit and demerit as well. So if we're talking about the merit, it is called as reliable results. If the investigators are skilled and experienced, it give more reliable and dependable results. And the second is, it does not require sampling frame and strict use of random sampling techniques. It is very easy to carry out than stratified sampling, and it helps during the budget limitations. So we do have few demerits or disadvantages as well. And children, one more thing I want to say, that the quota sampling, the cost of preparing the quota sample is quite low, and it is very economical. So we do have the demerit as well. So the first demerit of the quota sampling is personal prejudice. Personal prejudice means there is a considerable risk that a based sample may be selected according to the personal prejudice of the investigator. And second is, not possible to estimate the sample error. So, under the quota sampling, it is not possible to estimate the sampling error and the degree of accuracy achieved. So, it is also the time consuming as well as the cost. So, selection of the sample depends upon the accessibility prone to the base. Now, the last one left is the snowball sampling. Now, what is the snowball sampling? Children, is snowball sampling, an initial group of respondent is selected, usually at random. So after being interviewed, the respondent are asked to identify others who belongs to be the target population of the interest. So subsequent respondents are selected, which is based on the referral. So you just see, when we are going to conduct the investigation by the snowfall sampling, how it is very helpful in conducting. The first one is, like, again there are the five groups, and element 2 as well as 9 are randomly selected from the group A and B. Element second, uh, you can say element second refers element 12 and 13. Element 9 refers element 18. The resulting sampling consists of elements 2, 9, 12, 13, 18. So what basically the note is, there are no element from group E. So this is called a snowball sampling. So in snowball sampling, children, we have the advantages and disadvantages as well. The first advantage is it is very useful in specific circumstances and for locating rare population. Second is it is useful in the qualitative research. Third, there may be no other way of accessing spatial sample without snowball sampling process. Next is the disadvantages. The first is base can be present. I mean, the various manipulation can also be found in this snowball sampling while conducting the investigation. Second is it is limited generalizability and non-representative of the population were results in the based sampling. So this all are the you can say the disadvantages of the snowball sampling. Now the next variety of the sampling is the judgment sampling. Now children, what is the judgment sampling? What is the judgment sampling? Children, in judgment sampling, basically, uh, under this method, the choice of sample items depend exclusively on the judgment of the investigator. That is why it is called as the judgment sampling. Now what happens is the selection is it's deliberate and it is based on own idea of the investigator about the sample units. He drew the sample such that it becomes a representative of the population. That is why it is called as a judgment sampling. So the chance of inclusion of some items is in the sample is very high while that of others is very low. So we can also say that the judgment sampling is a form of the convenience sampling in which the population elements are selected based on the judgment of the researchers. It basically used for testing the markets and for purchase the engineers selected in the industrial market research, experts, witnesses used in the court. So such kind of the judgment sampling is used in this particular area. So, for example, children, when an investigator is conducting any opinion poll to ascertain the views of the students in regard to introduction of casual dress in schools, so the investigator may select the 50 students who is in opinion are true representative of population of any number of students. So this is all the you can say your judgmental sampling. Children, we have some merit and demerits of this judgment sampling. The first one is simple and easy. So children, this method is simple and easy to adopt as it is does not require complicated procedure to draw a sample. Second is the proper representation. So this method basically enables the sample to be true representative to the population when the investigator has full knowledge of the composition of the universe and is free from the base. Third one is the base selection of the sample may definitely occurs and it is also a time consuming process. So this is all are the you can say merit as well as the demerit of the the judgment sampling. So children, so far what we have understood first the non-probability type of sampling in which we have learned what is the known probability or the known random sampling. Thereafter, we have learned that this known random sampling is majorly classified into the four categories. The first one is your the convenience sampling. Thereafter, the quota sampling. Third one is the snowball sampling, and finally is the judgment sampling. So this is all the way how we are going to learn or understand the concept of sampling method when we are going to conduct any statistical investigation. So children, I hope today's lecture will get you understand the various types of uh, collecting the data by the sampling method, which will get you understand the concept well. So children, that's all for today, and thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, and Sai Ram.